Oh my God.
Aren't you glad you said you'd go to 2 movies with me tonight?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm glad we got this one out of the way first. Because I'd be in a coma otherwise.
Hey,
Jeez
look, man.
Christ.
The Marquis said finest hoe. How was I supposed to know who would be lying to us?
Lies.
Wildly misleading.
I just... Whoa.
The Marquis did say finest hoe, by the way. Finest hoe 3D at 420, because of course, finest hoe would be 420 friendly.
I say the 3D on this movie was really enhanced the bland.
Didn't you really feel like you were there with Chris Pine in front of a green screen?
That bearskin coat was just popping right out of the screen.
I'm really glad you were there to say stuff like that to me throughout it, because I would have been asleep 20 minutes into this movie.
2 people walked out.
A couple people did walk out. This movie is honestly so bland and forgettable that when it ended, it flashes the title, The Finest Hours, and then it starts saying some of the credits, and we got up, put our coats on, and left, and I looked up, and it flashed the title again, The Finest Hours, in case you would forget.
Yeah.
What was the name of this fucking movie I sat through? The Finest Hours. Well, I mean, I guess I hesitate to get too mad, considering less than 24 hours ago I was at 50 Shades of Black. If you're comparing these hours to those hours, I guess this is the finest hours.
So should we tell them what it's about?
It's about the finest hours ever in the history of man. It's a perfect storm type movie. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, not even, because that's a little more gripping than this.
Yeah, that was more entertaining. In the Heart of the Sea that Brian and I saw last month was slightly more gripping than this, and we didn't really even recommend that one. We were like, oh, it's a rental, I guess. This movie, you know what this movie really felt like to me? If Nicholas Sparks decided to write a disaster film. It kind of is. Like, because the first 20 minutes are like the romance between Chris Pine and Holiday Granger. I just looked her name up on the phone.
Which was scintillating, let me tell you.
Oh, chemistry and a negative half.
It was white people in love, like the platonic ideal of white. You know, the shadows on the cave wall of white people. That was this.
Well, it was 1951.
Oh well, you should not forget that.
I will say this: they did honestly pick a handful of actors that look and kind of felt and dressed period appropriate. They really did. It didn't look like sometimes when you see a 50s movie and it's like, what are they trying to put, like fucking Paris Hilton in a 50s wig and put some, I don't buy this.
All right, the production design, yeah, I'll grant you. The production design was, they covered the bases.
It was like, these would be like the flashback B story in a stupid Nick Sparks movie. It's like, here's our movie about like Julianne Hough and like Josh Duhamel is like bull riders. And then old Alan Alda comes and tells them the story about when he saved people during the Coast Guard after he got engaged. Then it would flash back to this movie. Only they've decided to make an entire movie out of this.
So what happens is this is a movie about a real naval incident that took place off the coast of Maine in the 50s, where on some fateful day, this kind of blows my mind that it really happened. Not one, but 2 oil tankers split in half in the middle of this horrific storm, and they had to go out to rescue them, and this one lone boat tries to go do it. And that sounds like it'd be amazing. It's like, whoa, 2 boats split in half. This movie is exactly as gripping as a movie about the Coast Guard promises to be. That's because
in better hands, and maybe if it had been done like maybe 10 or 20 years ago, I could maybe see it working. Watching it in this with the special effects that they're using and the story that they're using, man, I got up to use the restroom at one point and looked at my clock and was like, fuck, there's like an hour of this movie left. And as it kept going, I kept thinking, please just find this boat. Please find this boat, because I'm so bored, because nothing is gripping me, because it all looks green screen. It all looks, there's parts where it's pouring down rain, none of their faces are getting wet. Mm-hmm. At the end, his hair looks the same as it did before he got on the boat. The girl's hair looks perfectly fine. They all look perfectly fine. Everyone just, it looks like what it is. Did you notice there's that one scene where it looks like his nose is so red from the weather, it's about to fall off, and then like 10 minutes later, now he's fine again. Yeah. People can go outside with no coats and they seem a little chilly, like as if like it's normally 80 degrees and then in the morning it's 50, so you're a little chilly, like that. Even though it's this blizzard going on, it looks and feels like what it is. It's a group of actors on this boat in a studio on a green screen, and you can tell, especially with the 3D, you can tell with really washed out backgrounds, really blurry backgrounds, and because it's so dark. There are many shots in this movie that I'm sure in making it, they thought they were pretty good shots, but as darkly lit as this movie is, and with the 3D, sometimes I couldn't tell what I was looking at. I mean, did you have that problem? Like, sometimes I couldn't tell, like, are we above water right now? Are we below water? Oh, it's like both. And then at the end, like, when he's hugging her, I was looking at the background and it was so blurry and so...
Oh, spoilers.
Oh, they live. Yeah. It's not exactly like the perfect storm. And in the back, I'm like, is that another wave behind them? Like, oh no, that's just the town. Okay. I shouldn't be making this kind of mistake. I like how it kind of ended the same way Frank and Weenie did. They're saved by everyone in the town turning
on their car headlights. Yeah. Which they didn't. In no way telegraphed for 10 fucking minutes that that was how they were going to save the day.
There was one guy who died. The guy who was the...
Ethan Suplee.
No, that's not Ethan Suplee.
I swear to God, he looks so much like him.
He does. I can see that. I never remember his name. He was on ER. He was like the guy at the desk who answered the phones. He was kind of like the comic relief. I see him and stuff all the time. I can never remember his name, but he's kind of a fun character actor. He's like the goofy chef in this. And then, boy, his death is telling when he's like, just follow me down, all right? If I can do it, anyone can do it. He can't do it.
Boom! We all gonna die!
Oh, shit. That means we're gonna die.
I had to say, Chris Pine, this is a weird paradox going on here. Mm-hmm. Chris Pine puts such intense effort into making his performance dull and lackluster. Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it, because it's not so much like he's sleepwalking through it. No, he's actively making to be this milquetoast little guy. And you think, when I say something like that, typically in movies, when a character is all milquetoast and just kind of, passive and whatnot, their arc is they get some confidence and strength. No, not really. Not really here. He just stays the same way. The most defiant thing he does is turn off the radio when he's told to go to another ship instead of coming back. He just sort of like turns, and that's it. That's the most character growth he gets, really. Yeah. Like, hell, this is a character who, when his girlfriend proposes to him, and he reacts by just going, no. And then chases her out and goes, all right, but I gotta check with work first. Seriously, and there's like, well, there's a storm coming. What the fuck does that have to do with it? Storm coming, like... It's more remember in American Psycho when, like, Reese Witherspoon said, we should get married, and then Patrick Bateman goes like, no, can't take the time off work. That's more charming than this. He was a serial killer. And when he first, because it's like a blind date they're set up on in the beginning, and he says, like, he first sees her when her back is turned and she's wearing a fur coat, and he says, his first words is like, well, for a second I thought it was like Smokey the Bear on the phone.
No, I'm just kidding because your coat and stuff. I get it. Blind dates can be awkward, but
and having seen Chris Pine, especially in the Star Trek movies, I know he's
a charismatic dude.
So this was a deliberate performance to just rein it all in. And oh God, the main accents. Part the card to Harvard Yard.
And then this is an actor I love, Eric Bana. But is Eric Bana just making a career of playing the guy in charge in every movie? That's everything I see him in now. Like, he's always the guy giving orders, and he's doing that in this movie too. Only in this movie, I guess he's from Australia, Mississippi, because that's the accent he's doing. When he first starts talking, I was like, oh, he's speaking with his regular accent in this movie. Nope, because then he brings out that twang a little bit.
I'm from South Carolina. I ain't never heard nobody talk like that. We do not do that, sir.
I guess that's where he was supposed to be. Like, he's supposed to be Southern in the movie, but
yeah, he kind of failed that one.
Yeah,
but That's the other problem. He's forgettable.
Yeah, the only reason he's memorable because he's Eric Bana, and I like Eric Bana.
Everyone. It is so weird to watch a movie. Maybe Casey Affleck stands out.
Oh, he was
maybe a little.
Yeah.
But it's so weird to watch a movie where everyone fades into the background, even when they're talking, even when they're in the scene. They just vanish.
Yeah.
Because everything is just so slowly paced. No stakes. I mean, there's a boat sinking. All these men are trapped on it. They're gonna die, and they have like a little. And then they're like, okay, well, we should probably get to work and not sink. All right, well, that's what we're going to do. I think we're not going to sink today, so let's go down to the engine room and okie dokie. Everyone's fine. No one is frazzled. No one is at their breaking point. No, I mean, I'm sitting there going, no fights. Nobody's gonna deck somebody. Nobody's just gonna start screaming for their mom. At
like
this point.
There's almost a fight, but within seconds it's resolved when they realize Casey Affleck just saved their lives.
Yeah, it's like, oh God, yeah, that was probably a bad idea. Okay, well let's go.
Maybe we shouldn't have jumped into this fucking storm on a little wooden lifeboat.
Except that one guy, I remember his name Brown because everybody was saying it like asshole. Because they kept calling him Brown, and you know what they meant to say was asshole. So we're like at this way past the point. There is no other options for anybody on the ship. They're trying their best they have this plan to maybe buy them some time. There are no lifeboats. There is no other option. And Brown starts laying into Casey Affleck's character, who is the engineer. He is the default captain at this point. Starts laying into him. He's like, so now what are you going to do? Like, the same thing they've been doing. You have no other options. Why are you giving him shit? This is just how the fuck it is.
Because they've got to interject some kind of conflict in this, no matter how hackneyed it is.
Yeah.
And also, while this is going on, there's the stuff on Chris Pine's little boat, and there are shots where this boat is being hit by waves, going underneath waves, and coming back up, and then when it cuts back to them on Chris Pine and them, they look the same as they just did right before they hit this wave.
All right, there are 3D cinematic CGI scenes of this boat. It's not a submarine. It's a boat. The boat go under the fucking upside down through the damn water, pops out of the other side. Everybody's like, well, it's a bit misty out here today.
You're fucking right. Like, dude, they're reacting as if, like, I don't know, they're on the teacup ride at fucking Disney World, and like, maybe it jumped a little bit, but all right, anyway, this ride will be over in a few minutes.
I mean, I would be pissing myself. I would be fucking pissing myself.
And in the first half of it, like, I was okay when it kept cutting back to Casey Affleck, because I was like, this stuff here is better than all the stuff with Chris Pine and Eric Bana and the girl. Like, I'm kind of interested, because Casey Affleck, he is the best one in this movie.
Yeah.
So for a while, I was at least kind of with those scenes, but this movie's 2 hours long, and the tone of every single one of those scenes is the same as the tone of all the rest of their scenes. It doesn't really change. So yeah, Casey Affleck is carrying it as much as he can, but after an hour or so of this, it gets as redundant as everything else.
Can you believe we're actually saying Casey Affleck was carrying a movie?
I like Casey Affleck.
Wow. Never thought I'd see the day.
Did you like Gone Baby Gone?
Oh yeah.
That was a good one. I like Casey Affleck.
Just still never thought I'd see the day. You know, there's Chris Pine's in the movie and it's Casey Affleck who's carrying the motherfucker. I'm like, whoa.
And Chris Pine's a charismatic dude, but there's not much to work with here. I mean, there isn't. Even his face looks weird in this movie. When he
looks like kind of like plastic a little.
It looks like they decided to make a Michael Myers mask out of his Captain Kirk, and that's what he's wearing in this. When he first stepped out of the car, I'm like, does he normally? He doesn't normally look like that. What is this his wax sculpture who's acting in this movie?
Wow.
Did they just all look like that in 1952? I don't know. I'll have to ask my grandma. This seems like speaking of this seems like the kind of movie like my grandma would like, or
not mine. You'd be annoyed at this shit.
Mine would probably like it. I could see like my uncles liking this movie. The audience, I don't know. The audience we had, it seemed like they liked it better than we did. The audience in our theater was
Dude, one guy, two seats down, he was asleep.
He might have been.
I promise you that dude was asleep.
To be fair, though, he was like 80 and he might have been dead. Maybe before he died, he was enjoying himself. Maybe he had a heart attack because he was so scared. It was a much older audience in there. And despite the person who walked out and despite the dead guy, like, it seemed like a couple people were more... The ladies who were sitting behind me seemed far more riveted than we were.
The only way I could recommend this thing is as an insomnia cure.
I was thinking the same thing through this movie, and it's a disaster movie. Like, and it'll put you to sleep. That's bad. Like, I was thinking in the theater, I was like, for myself, the only way I could recommend this, it's 3 a.m, I can't fucking sleep. I gotta have something on, take some fucking Z-Quil.
Yeah.
Maybe this'll knock my ass out. Other than that, I mean, like, if you're scrolling through on Netflix and this looks like something you might like, then have it on for 5 minutes to test the waters and just see where you go from there. Because I guarantee you I'm going to see much worse this year.
Yeah.
I saw much worse last night, but...
Yeah, there's nothing aggressively bad about it.
Yeah.
It is so...
In a few days...
generic. It's complete...
In a few days, I'm going to forget that I saw this.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Like, absolutely. Like, this movie is going to come and go. Like, whatever money it makes, I mean, I don't know what it'll do this weekend. I have no idea, but this is just an utterly forgettable film.
We had what, third full theater? Not even that?
Yeah, we had, yeah. I mean, we were in the larger theater in there, but it wasn't exactly packed, and they just kind of slowly drifted in after we got there. This movie's gonna come and fucking go.
I bet you 2 people in there, we better see if there's an after credit scene.
We were the first ones to walk out.
Yeah, I was like, fuck out of here. I need caffeine right now.
I am planning on getting candy.
Well, I'm going to go into a coma.
Well, at least we got a Kung Fu movie after this. Kung Fu is in the title. Well, Ho was in this movie's title, and they screwed us there.
Lies.
All right. Any other final words about it? Yeah, mine.
No.
Same. Let's go watch Pandas.
Okay.
See ya.